Are we filming? Yes, we are. So, mail time. Mail time. Got 3 parcels today. I'm not quite sure what's in here because I've forgotten, but let's find out. Tough old cardboard today because I picked these up on my bicycle and the cardboard got a little bit wet. Okay, so I've got 9 more of these Papermate pens, Papermate fountain pens. So I've got several of them already, but what I want to do, the reason why I've got these is because these are going to be my standard pen for ink testing because they're cheap, less than £1, and they write very well. I'm really surprised. Less than £1. They come with 1 cartridge, but I'm going to be using them as a dropper pen to keep the consistency because I am very curious about ink on paper, and I just thought that the best thing to do was to have the control as the pen, and I've been trying a few of these pens. To be honest, these Papermate ones, because they can be used, you'll find out how I'm going to be using them. I just thought they would be a good control pen, fairly consistent, hopefully very consistent. But we'll be having a look at that in future videos. So what have we got here? I genuinely can't remember what is in here. I'm just going to try and open. Oh my goodness me. I mean, it's commendable that paper packaging is more common these days. But, okay, so here we go. What is this? This looks like I think these are, rather than injection molded, they may be no, I think they're injection molded, but let's just build this, seeing as it's I feel like a kid building this sort of thing, but I just want to show you what I'm going to do, and I might as well do this in the actual mail time. I should get my grandchildren to do this, but it's fun. So let me just put this on the top. I think it's going to be, I'm going to do it this way because it will have a lower doodah. So let's see whether it will hold a pen. Right, so basically what I'm doing is, let's get some more of these pens, and I'll just to give you an idea, because I did measure these. So I had a look at these. It was a combination of cost and the actual dimensions of the holes for the test tubes. But what I'm hoping to do is, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there are 10 larger holes, and then there are smaller holes which will fit pencils and other types of pen. But there are essentially I want to be able to have a test tube rack full of these pens, so that particularly for the Papermate fountain pens I'm going to use as dropper pens, I want to be able to have them all like this, because they're not really designed to be dropper pens. But if you keep them vertical, if you keep them like this, then you can use them as dropper pens rather than use a cartridge, you can just drop using a pipette the ink, and so these will be my test pens, and I'll have 10 fountain pen inks, and then there are holes for other things. So that's basically my test rack for ink testing. So that's the idea anyway. Let me put those away. And I'm actually quite impressed with those Papermate pens because they're so small. They're so small. I haven't actually used them with this particular cartridge. I've used another type of cartridge, but I think okay, it's obviously not as expensive as a Quink Sport, which is my pen of choice when I'm out and about. But do you know what? As an emergency pen, it costs less than £1. And it writes really, really well. So I'm going to put those on my list of products that have my seal of approval. Okay, so what else have we got? Right, now this is a bottle of Quink, Parker Quink ink, and the reason I bought this was for nostalgic reasons, because I haven't actually used this Quink ink for 45 years, but I used to use it all the time. It was the ink of choice. Now, when I was at school, being rebellious, I used all sorts of inks that were a mixture of different Quink inks. So I used a brown ink, which was the combination of black Quink ink, but predominantly red. So I added the black in stages to red Quink ink until I got the consistency of blood. Is that the sort of thing that kids do? Well, for me, being interested in fountain pens at school, this was something that I had to do, and I've discussed this in a previous video. But this is going to be one of my control inks because they're still available, and it's going to be a little bit of a trip down memory lane for me. I don't really like these labels. They're not quite as good, and they're not quite as nice. But it's cheap enough, and in fact, it's very, very cheap. So I know this is pretty good ink. So I'm probably going to add this to my list. So finally, what else have we got? I can't remember. But I think it's a pen. I'm pretty sure it's a pen. If you're wondering why I'm just cutting it with a pair of scissors rather than turning it over the other way, it's because I've got my address labels on the other side. So this is what I've got. Now, why have I got one of these? I've got another one of these. I've already got one of these. Where is it? Somewhere. Is it in my pen tray? I've got loads and loads of pens here. Can't see it. It must be somewhere else. But someone suggested I try one of these, and it has become one of my favourite pens. Although I'm not a fan of the ballpoint pen, I'd rather have either a Pilot G2 or a Pilot V7. A Pilot V7 I've been using for over 30 years, and I love them. There is a lot to be said for one of these ballpoint pens where you've got blue, red and black, and then you've got a propelling pencil as well. But this was a fantastic price because it came with the leads as well. And so I like this. I like this a lot, especially given the fact that because I'm using a, let me show you, because I'm using at the moment a mini executive, Filofax mini executive with a pocket size. Can you see it sticking up here? A pocket size diary. There's a limited amount of space, and so I quite often like to use one of these. I do have other propelling pencils. This is a Jackson's one, which I really like, which has fantastic. This is 8B, nice. I love 8B. I think these are HB. Yes, they are. But what else have I got? This is a Quink one. Although the lead is missing, it's somewhere in the office at the moment. I've got a whole stack of these leads, and I just pressed it and the lead fell out and I can't find it. But I do like propelling pencils, but the this is, I'm definitely going to add this to my product list that I use because I'm using it. I'm very pleased with the propelling pencil with this. It's very cheap. Excuse me. It's very cheap. So I'm endorsing this because this isn't the first one I bought. This is the first one I bought with the leads with it. But pretty good price. But anyway, that is my mail time today. Quite a few things. Thank you for watching. Until my next video. Goodbye.